Okay, so Katie Kemp here, editor of the Signal newspaper at Washita Baptist University. Katie, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. Kind of talk about the previous 3 years before you got the editor job
Yeah.
as the Signal, and kind of talk about the hands-on experience that you were able to get before you actually got to edit the full
Yeah.
newspaper kind of thing, and the different things that Washita offers in the
Okay.
communications department.
So I joined the Signal my freshman year in the fall on practicum, which every communication student is required to do 2 semesters of. And I was just a staff writer, just like writing stories every week. And I decided to stay on in the spring, not doing practicum, just volunteering, just because writing is something that I enjoyed, and like I always heard in my communications classes that it's good to be like writing is a good skill to have. And then my sophomore year, I spent a semester as copy editor, which was just like editing for grammar and stuff, like the stuff that people turned in, and like I was still writing too. And then in the spring of my sophomore year, I got to be the news editor, which was kind of when I got to be more involved with like the making of the paper part of it, because I was the one that was like making the news pages, like formatting everything, and then also helping the editor come up with ideas for news stories. And I did that again my junior year, and that probably of like those three was my favorite, just because it was the most like hands-on. Like I got to like, I wasn't just like learning how to write news stories, I was learning how to like format pages, and like when we would have ads come in, I would have to take that into account as well. And it was just like something different for every paper. And then this year as editor of the paper, I'm kind of like, I have all like section editors under me who are like working on all of their individual pages, and then I have like all the staff writers too, and it's like definitely been the most like hands-on of all of them, because like I'm having to be a manager as well as like a writer and a page maker, and
Right.
it's been the most involved.
Okay. Do you feel like you feel like you learn more by doing it like hands on, or do you feel like you learn more in like the courses, or is it a combination of both? And is that
Oh
what makes
man.
Washita unique as far as the communication department goes?
Yeah. I mean, I apply like a lot of the stuff I learn in classes, like when I'm like, obviously like the hands-on is where you're going to get like the most experience and like problem solving and all that, but like I apply like with like media writing and stuff, I'm learning how to write, and then in publication design I'm learning how to make the pages. But it's really cool that I get to like see how it's applied, like it would be applied in a real situate, like a real job,
Right.
by working on the paper.
Okay. And then kind of two like final questions to wrap it up. How do you feel like this will help you as far as getting a real job in like the real world? Kind of, you feel like you can make a portfolio out of this stuff that you've been doing or anything like that? And do you feel like that'll help you promote yourself as far as getting a job in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with getting like your writing published every week, like that's a really big deal. To have this whole like portfolio of writing that you've done and like see it put on a page and like put in the hands of readers and stuff. But being editor too has been like, I feel like I have a really big advantage going into the job field, because I can say like I've managed all these people and like met deadlines every week and like had to solve problems that have come up every week. And so I feel really fortunate to have been able to do it this year.
And then kind of, I should have asked this question to begin with, but kind of just talk about the Signal newspaper as a whole and what everybody has to do and what you have to do as far as that like paper goes.
Oh,
Just kind of talk
goodness.
about what it is.
Like what everybody's job is.
And what, yeah, and pretty
Okay.
much like what you do and stuff like that too.
So we have like our staff writers, and I think we have like 15 or 16 of those this semester, and they like, I have a meeting every Monday where I give out all the story assignments for the different sections, and they'll have a week to write whatever assignment they choose, and they turn it in the following Monday before the meeting. And so they're just writing stories every week and like conducting interviews and all that. And then my section editors, I have a sports editor, a features editor, an opinions editor, and a news editor, and they're all making the pages of those. So we come in on Wednesday nights is when we make our pages and stuff. And they all will format those pages and like edit for any like mistakes that they see. And then they're also, if they ever have pitches for their section, they give those to me, and I kind of field them for our staff writers. And then after everybody leaves on Wednesday night, I go in and make all the corrections that I need to make. But then like throughout the week, I'm kind of just like there if anybody has any issues like getting in contact with the people they're supposed to interview, or like if they have any questions about how they're supposed to write. So I spend a lot of my time in the newsroom just like solving problems and getting stuff ready for the next issue.
All right. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to say about the communications department as a whole?
The communications department as a whole, just that in my experience with it has been really great. Like all of the professors that I've encountered have been really like helpful and like wanting to see us succeed. And so I have nothing but good things to say.
All right. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.
Yeah.